Hello, hello, welcome. It is Wednesday. I'm hoping everyone has had an awesome day. It's been a quiet day here, quiet afternoon. This morning we ran a bunch of errands and what else? Took a load of garbage to the dump, which is always nice. We didn't take it to the dump. We took it to one of our properties has a dumpster at it right now. So dropped off a load of trash, which is always great. My lab is gonna come in here and knock stuff down. You better go lay down, Piper. Go lay down. She's like staring at me, wagging her tail. She just wants to knock everything over. That's what labs do, right? So, yeah, it was a busy morning, quiet afternoon. It's super gloomy and rainy here. Yesterday we had a beautiful day, so we took advantage and spent a lot of the day outside. Me and the girls walked like 4 miles yesterday. We walked with my mom in the morning at a trail in Calcium, and then we walked in the afternoon with Matt when he got home from work. So lots of fresh air and exercise yesterday. So can't complain about today's weather. Hi, my life is Kendall. Thanks for coming in. I hope you're doing well. So yeah, the weather yesterday was beautiful, 63 and sunny. The weather today was just gloomy, but like still not too bad. It was like 55 degrees. We have a winter weather advisory for tomorrow in upstate New York here. So I know Kirsten from Poplar Creek Farm and I were kind of chatting on Facebook this morning that we are not excited about the forecast on the first day of April. Hi, Kate. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I see you've been busy down there. I've been catching bits and pieces this time of year. Everyone is just getting, so much busier with, uh, projects now that the weather's nicer and gardens are workable in some places. I find it really hard to catch all the evening lives, and I miss everybody. So I appreciate people popping in because at least I get to see some of you here. Hey, Auntie Weezer, it's just me tonight. Chloe is not hanging out at the moment. I don't know if she's going to pop in or not, but it's been gloomy here and everybody's kind of just like half awake, I feel like. So, oh, Nanny was out walking. Were you? You were brave. So I went out and fed the pigs uh, and, just made sure the sheep had hay and water before I started the live. And uh, it was like misting then. But when I loaded the truck to go to the dumpster, it was a light rain. Then when I was like unloading the dumpster, it was pouring while I was at your house. And yeah, it was pouring. So, hey, Eva, thanks for being here. I hope you're doing well. We were just talking about the weather forecast tomorrow. Obviously, you probably know, maybe you don't. I don't know how different our forecast could be because I know we're kind of a distance away, but in my area, we have a winter weather advisory with a possibility of 5 to 10 inches of snow. And I know Kirsten over at Poplar Creek was saying that she is looking at more like 3 to 5 inches, but any snow on April 1st is like such a bummer. So my sister Alexis and I were talking earlier, and we have had snow on Easter before, but sometimes Easter is at the end of March, sometimes it's April. So this year it's kind of in the middle on April 4th, but I'm just not like, oh, you have company coming. So how much snow are you supposed to be getting, Eva? Because I know, uh, like Kirsten was saying, she's not supposed to get quite as much. And I've finally scheduled our first in-person 4-H meeting tomorrow. We were allowed to get together with 15 or less people. So we have a small club anyway. So, uh, club members are coming with like one parent instead of like entire families or whatever, but we're able to get together to do some planning for our chick sale, which is the following Saturday, the 10th. And we just have to kind of plan out the logistics, and we're excited to get together. And now I'm like so nervous about the storm prohibiting us from driving in. So who would have thought on April 1st we'd have to worry about snow and conditions for driving, but I'm hoping when I looked earlier, it looked like the snow was gonna calm down by like 4 o'clock, and our meeting's not till 6:30. So They're saying 4 to 6 inches. So you're kind of right in between, huh? Well, I hope that your company is able to get there safely. Hi, Bruce. How's it going tonight? I hope you're doing well. Oh, my clicking is not working great. My posse has ditched me tonight, so I'm on my own. The girls are in the other room, and Matt and Michaela are out installing some radio system thing in her car. So I don't know what's happening there. Her car's been in the shop and waiting on a part forever, and finally she has to work all weekend. And we just decided to go pick up her car, and it's safe to drive. It's just we were trying to get it in good shape before she goes to college, and the the part is taking forever. So he said we'll just come pick up the car, and then when the part comes in, we'll. Hey, Haas and Hannah, I hope you guys are doing well, driving safely. Hopefully your weather is better than it is here. Yeah, yep, Bruce, I'm all by my lonesome tonight. I don't have my giggly sidekick, but I try not to force her. So if she didn't feel like it, I get it, and maybe she'll pop in later. I don't know, but kind of lonely over here without her. So Eva, the pigs are doing really well. We had put both our adult females, Willow and Hermione, in with Wilbur, our boar, in December for the possibility of breedings for like early April or end of March, early April. The first possible due date was last Friday, and there's no babies yet, but Hermione, I don't know if you guys follow us on Instagram or the Facebook page and Instagram are connected, so it's like the same post, but my female Hermione, her belly is so big that it's literally touching the ground. So with the weather that's coming, we had some really cold nights. We've had a lot of rain. So everything is like super muddy and then cold. So I moved Hermione in because literally her belly was like in the mud. And I did not want her having piglets. They have a hut with like clean straw and everything, but I didn't want her having piglets in there and then it being cold and me not being able to see them as well. So I moved Hermione into the barn. She has her own stall. She's getting lots of attention and treats and TLC, but uh, no telling when the piglets will come exactly. Last time I thought I had breeding dates and I was off, but not by tons. I was just off a little. And Hermione showed no signs of impending labor. Like they tell you to look for, a milk line. If the pigs go off feed, maybe that happens in some animals. Lexi says her husband and Alice are putting together a bed while she's crocheting and supervising. Got to get those baskets done by Easter. She's crocheting Easter baskets. What is up, Kat and John? How's it going tonight? So we're talking about my pregnant pig. And so Hermione is a Kunekun pig, and her belly is like touching the ground. Last time she had piglets. She was more off than Willow. Willow had her piglets a day sooner than I expected them. Hermione had her piglets like 2.5 weeks sooner than I expected them, which meant she got bred on the heat cycle prior. And she just like acted totally normal that day. And then when we went out in the afternoon to bring water, she didn't come out of her hut, which is not normal. Normally when they hear us, they come right up to us. They're very friendly. We've spent a lot of time making the pigs friendly and getting used to us and comfortable. And she didn't come out of the hut. And Chloe was like, "Ma, something's not right." She had 4 little piglets in the hut, which was fine. In October, it was warmer, but I wasn't expecting it. So we had to move them into their farrowing pen or whatever. But her belly is literally touching the ground this time. So I'm not really sure. Last time, she also looked big. Hermione looked huge, and Willow looked like big, but like not as huge as Hermione. Willow had 6 piglets prior, and Hermione had 4. So now her belly is literally touching the ground. And if you saw that picture on Instagram, you'll know that it looks a little ridiculous. And my husband keeps saying like, "Oh, she's going to have a ton of piglets." And I'm like, watch her have like 2, because it's like the bigger she is, the less she has or something. It's crazy, but we'll see how it goes. I've been watching her a lot. I get up and check on her all the time. I don't sleep in at all because I am too excited to go and see if anything's going on with the pigs. So I have not had any piglets yet. And I don't know if Willow's bred or not. If she is, I don't think that she is as far along as Hermione. She's not showing nearly the signs, but like Hermione is like you can put your hands on her belly and feel the piglets. Like she's obviously pregnant. You'll have to check out those pictures on Instagram because I don't have a great way to show them on here, but she's just waiting on having the babies and taking it all. And she mostly sleeps, unless it's time to eat. So, but they do say that if she's about to have labor, then or go into labor, then like it's not like that they shouldn't like they probably wouldn't eat that day or something. And she didn't do that. Neither one of my pigs ever went off food the day that they had babies. So I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure what how much time we were looking at waiting on the piglets, but I'm very excited for them. Obviously, I love them so much, and I keep telling Matt I'm going to sell all the sheep and just have a piglet farm, but he doesn't think it's a good idea.
Piglet farm.
So we still have some of the baby goats to sell. We have 4 or 5 that aren't weaned yet, so they can't leave the farm until they are over 8 weeks old. The triplets were born on Valentine's Day, and then there was another set born the day after. And while we're on the topic of goats, we realized, so I think last week we told you guys that we had those premature little goats born. I think it was a week ago Monday that they arrived, and they were super tiny. One of them was stillborn, and one of them was breathing, but he didn't have his eyes open yet, and he was just like a floppy little tiny thing. But so after that happened, we realized that there was still a possibility that a couple of the goats that did not kid out in January and February could have been bred because they had been with a buck long enough to get pregnant and be bred into April to kid out in April. So we started inspecting the ones that had not had babies and found that there are in fact 2 more does that are expecting, one of the Savannah does and another one of the boars. I can't remember exactly which one. Not all of his goats have names, so we often call them by their tag number, but I can't even remember her tag number. So we've separated those 2 out just in case. I'm not sure what the cause of that premature labor was for the doe that had them. We were a little concerned that they maybe got headbutt in the stomach, or that they were getting pushed out of feed and having like a weird nutrition problem. So we separated the 2 that are still expecting, and that way they're able to get plenty of nutrition, and we don't have to worry about the bully girls pushing them out, and then we can watch them and just keep a close eye. So if that set of twins was, my guess would be 10 to 14 days premature, then we're looking at probably them kidding in, I would say, a week or less, I would imagine. But it's hard to tell. Some of the goats don't udder up like others do. We have that one that had the triplets, like she gets like a Holstein udder before she kids out, where others just have a little tiny udder. They're not milk goats, so it's a totally different thing. Kate, honestly, I love them so much. I've always loved pigs. My mother and sister can tell you. Like, I used to collect pigs. I've loved pigs my entire life. And I'm not a huge fan of raising like the big commercial hogs. Like, they're just a little bit intimidating to like try and keep in and move because they grow so fast, they get so big. And of course you don't want to get attached to them because obviously they're ending up on the trailer. But you want to come hang out? No, Matt's in here. I just thought I'd try to talk him into hanging out. So they're a little intimidating because they grow so fast and you don't really like form a relationship with them. But the Kune Coons, the ones that we're going to keep, obviously I spend a ton of time with. Even all the piglets that we have, I spend a ton of time with just because they're so stinking cute and it's hard not to. So we they get really friendly. Like, you go in there and they run to you and they're curious. They all have different personalities. Like, we paid a lot of attention to the girls when we were picking, like deciding which one we would keep. We ended up keeping 2 and then placing 1 later on. But they all have very different personalities. They're just super friendly and so fun to hang out with. So yeah, Eva, we have I think he has one registered red buck that he might be willing to sell. And so he would be a year old, so he would be ready to breed. In fact, I think he already sired some of the kids that we have out there. And then he's got a dapple-headed buck and a black-headed buck that were born on Valentine's Day, so they're young. And who else do you have left for bucks for sale?
Oh, these are red buck.
There's a solid, like not solid red buck, mostly red buck. And are you keeping Abel or
I don't know.
who's in with Abel? What do we call him?
Gerald?
Gerald. I kept thinking George, and I was like, Gerald is like, he's the buckling that was born on a Wednesday night before live, and his mom does not look like she was able to have, like, I have no idea how that goat had such a huge baby and continued. Like, he's weaned now because he's like the size of his mom.
Size of her now.
Yeah, he's so big. He grew so fast. So he would be like 75% boar and then like 25% Nubian would be my guess, but I'm not 100% on that because we bought the mom. We didn't breed her here.
Yeah, she looks pretty boar.
She looks pretty boar, but got that banded color. So it just depends on what you'd be looking at, Eva. But it'd be fun just to get together anyway. Peacocks usually start laying in May. I kind of was looking today because she was up on top of Matt's tractor. And last year, that's where I found the first peacock eggs were on top of the tractor. So you don't want to take off and, have the eggs roll off. So I'm watching. But so far, she hasn't laid any yet. So we'll see. How is, well, I'll have to tune into your live to see what happened with the emu eggs, if there's any action or not. But yeah, we have the extension office let us borrow their GQF, which is what Kat and John got for the emu eggs, I think, and we're using that for our chick and duckling, or just the chicks are in that one for the fundraiser. I think we have like 500 eggs that we set, and so far of the 500, I think like 480 something of them were looking like they were developing. So but I don't think that I'll have access to it as long as like for peacock egg season, because the Brincy that I had, I set a few peacock eggs in and they just didn't make it. But the problem with that, the little Brincy that I have, is that you can't really like the humidity, you would need a separate like gauge, because all they tell you to do is put water up to a certain line, and like you don't really have any idea where the humidity is at. So that's probably my own fault. I probably should invest in a little gauge thing that tells you the humidity. But yeah, it's going to be a ton. So we had about 112 duck eggs and then 400 something chicken eggs that were set in the GQF, and then other little incubators. We did duck eggs separately. We started them a week ahead of time, so they all should be hatching around next week at this time, actually. So yeah, 1 week from today, we'll be over at our friend Christine's house, helping her juggle all of the chaos that is probably going to be waiting for her when she gets home from work. So trying to keep the chicks organized by what breed they are and everything. She's done a really good job. She's a very organized person anyway, which is part of why she's doing the hatching. And she said that she uses little bands, like they're kind of like rubber bands, but they're not going to be like tight on their legs, to mark what breeds they are so that we can keep track of them. She also said that several of them are not going to look anything like other breeds, so that'll be easy to keep them apart. And something else that I saw, and I don't know if it was Instagram that I saw it on, or TikTok. Somewhere I saw someone hatching different chicks, and they used what looked like fruit netting, like, like the bags you get oranges in, and they would put the different eggs in the hatch out trays in the netted bags, so that they knew for sure the chicks that hatched in that netted bag were whatever breed, and they couldn't get all mixed up in the incubator. So that's something I was going to talk to her about at the 4-H meeting tomorrow night if we get to go. My elephant is going to So I'm really excited about that. I just hope that we're able to get together tomorrow, and I hope that it is a good fundraiser. This is the first time we've done such a thing, and we've mostly been spreading the word on Facebook. We had a little bit of issues putting up flyers because the local Tractor Supply and the some of the other feed stores didn't want to put the flyer up because they sell chicks and ducklings and it was like a competition thing, so they didn't want to advertise it for us. But Bill's Feed around the corner, which is a very busy feed store, did put it up for us, so I was grateful for that. And just word of mouth, we're just hopeful that a lot of people will come and want to buy chicks and ducks. So hopefully they haven't already bought all theirs. There's a lot of varieties that people can't get, so yeah, chicks in a bag. That's what I was thinking. Like they're gonna hatch and be in these nets, and then you have to worry about them, like, I don't know, catching their toes on them. But it seemed like that's what the bags were intended for. I think, for a group that's trying to hatch lots of different breeds at once, like we are, it's got to be a good option, I guess, unless you are very organized and what's in what hatching tray and what they're going to look like. I don't know, but it's going to be quite the experience. Eva's super excited about the chicks hatching, and it will be like pandemonium. So I'm excited, nervous, but excited. So, oh, also I have to mention that the shirt I'm wearing tonight was designed by Ashley. She made this beautiful design for me, and we put it on the Spreadshirt thing. So that's super fun. I sent her one because I wanted to thank her. So she's been doing a lot of the doodling thing that Adrian does, and makes me want to get an Apple Pencil, but I just can't make myself. Have you seen those Apple Pencils?
Mm-mm.
It's like $100. It's like a stylus, but I don't know. I'm thinking about it. But anyway, I suck at it. Ashley's a really good artist, so it's probably not worth it for me. But speaking of Tractor Supply and their chicken sales, I just watched Morgan's video about the Tractor Supply brooders, and I don't think we experienced the same problem at our Tractor Supplies. They just built a Tractor Supply. Hey, Bomber Steve, how's it going? Tomorrow morning in Australia, New Zealand. So yeah, we have several Tractor Supplies around us. They just built one that was literally like around the corner, like 5 minutes away. And then we have one in Watertown, which is where my parents live, and then one in Lowville, which is another town. Like if we have to go to Walmart, we pick one. So there's 3 within like 20 minutes of our house that we've been in since they've had chicks. The new one that just opened up is still using the tanks with the heat lamps. They haven't gotten the brooder systems that Morgan was upset about. But the new Tractor Supply and the one in Lowville both had the brooder system, and the chicks were both fine. But what I was wondering in his video was like, why don't they just lower the heat plate? Like it's obvious from the other ones that he went to visit after that that's something that they can do to make the chicks warmer. When they're little, the heat plate should be like way lower down and not up at the ceiling. So I just was wondering, like, it seems like such an easy fix that if the chicks are really looking cold and miserable, all they have to do is lower the heat plates down. So I don't know if you guys are experiencing that in your area, but this was, I don't know, I just watched the video today, so I haven't gone and specifically like sought out the things that he was saying, but I know for a fact the new one has the stock tanks with chicks and heat lights, and they've got like a dog kennel around it so people can't like walk in. But the other 2 had the brooder system, and the chicks looked fine. They were like running around. In fact, at one of the stores they had turkeys in one of the brooders, and we were kind of debating on whether we wanted to get turkeys this early or not, and the turkeys were like coming right up to us, like how turkey poults are. They're so like curious, and they were, right at the little plexiglass stuff, like wanting to check out what we were doing and why we were there. So they didn't seem at all distressed or cold or anything. They were active and happy. So I'm grateful, at least that in our area, the people are taking it seriously and taking care of the chicks and making sure that they lower the stupid heat plate. Like, it's not that hard. I don't understand, but who knows? I'm so happy things are moving right along. Homework on pigs. It took us a couple of years to get a breeding. Oh, I appreciate that, Eva. So I've had pigs. We got our first pair of breeding Kune Coons shortly after we bought the farm. We got the sheep first, but the pigs didn't take too long. And then they never bred. Not Wilbur. Wolfie and Winnie were my first pair of pigs. Winnie was the most delightful pig ever, and Wolfie was straight out of hell. Like, he was just the worst pig ever. He just was nasty. He was food aggressive. We weren't really pleased that he was around. And one time they got out and went on a little roundabout walk, a little Rumspringer around the neighborhood, and they came back, and the next day we lost Winnie. So I'm guessing they got into something that was toxic when they were out roaming the neighbors' areas. I have no idea where they went, but when we lost Winnie, we sold Wolfie because he was just a miserable old SOB and we didn't want him. So we got rid of them, and I was like done with pigs for a while. And then maybe like a year later, I don't know, it wasn't a long while, but I was done with pigs. But I just loved Winnie so much that I didn't want to get another pig because I thought it'd be like a letdown. And then the day after Christmas one year, I think, we got Hermione and Willow. We had gone to get one pig. We got two, which is better for them anyway. I wasn't going to breed them. I kept them for like a year. I didn't want another boar because Wolfie was so awful, and I didn't want that situation again. And then we got Wilbur, who is several people's favorite animal on the farm. Several people, meaning Chloe and Eva. I think they like Wilbur the most. He has quite the personality, and he likes to hang out with his tongue out all the time. So it's hard not to love that kind of face. So we're grateful that our boar is super friendly now. I don't think he's going anywhere. So I'm not allowed to sell Wilbur ever, I don't think. Yeah. So what are they like in South Carolina, Lex? Have you noticed? I know you don't go in much, but I'm just wondering if in other places that is common, that the chicks are cold, because I mean, it probably is affected too by the area. Like in Vermont where Morgan lives, it's a colder climate. So the store is going to be cooler, air wise than in South Carolina. But it just seems so obvious. Like, if they're huddling together, just lower the stupid plate. You would think out of all the employees that somebody would have realized, like, they look cold. We should just lower the heat plate. Let's see. I'm missing. Tony, how's it going? Over in Manchester. Enjoying all of your premieres. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems so strange. Like, it's not that hard. How are the bees, Bruce? Starting to get active? Was it you? Didn't you just post a slow-mo bee? Sometimes I get the bee videos mixed up. There's a lot of awesome bee people out there, so. That's okay, Ashley. I was telling everyone about the wonderful shirt that you got me, or that you designed for me, and how much I love it. Hi, Auntie Lydia. I am just by myself tonight, though. It's not as fun without Chloe, but she didn't want to hang out with me, so she's watching something on the big screen with Eva. Chasing swarms is what Bruce is ready to do. That's awesome. What hens would you recommend for a newbie keeper? Buff Orpingtons. Buff Orpingtons, and then if they had little kids, Silkies or Japanese Bantams to go with them. Buff Orpingtons are, like, for me, they're just like really hardy, and I love their personalities, and they're fat and fluffy. I feel like they're easy keepers, and the kids love the Bantams, like Silkies, or like we have a Japanese Bantam named Rory that the kids literally can walk up to, pick up, carry around. She hangs out with them. She knows that they feed, the kids find her worms and feed her and stuff. Like, they just, they're just really fun for the kids to have because they're just very tame and friendly. And she lays a little tiny egg every day, so Nothing wrong with that. Can't hate on her for that. So, and the Buff Orpingtons do, I feel like they do a great job of laying eggs. They're not like a leghorn, but I feel like the leghorns are super flighty. I have two. They're super old. They lay a white egg every day. So it's like, I can't, we inherited them from someone. Like, I didn't buy them, but I had Chloe feed the cockatiel before this even and water her, but she sees her man's, which is Matt. So she's trying to whistle at him, get his attention. But so yeah, I would say Buff Orpingtons. I feel like they're hardy and they just seem to do well. They last forever. I don't know. You guys weigh in and say what you think are the best chicks or the best kinds of chickens for newbies. The other thing I would say is that if you're new, don't buy chicks. Try to find somebody that's selling started pullets. That's a big thing now. A lot of kids are doing that for some extra money. If you can buy pullets that are started, then you know you're getting a girl, which is great because you don't need roosters. And you know that they're a little hardy and they're going to, you know, chicks can be a little tricky for new time people to, you know, be able to raise to egg laying age. So if they can get on Craigslist or one of the Facebook groups and find somebody that's raising started pullets in their area, so much easier than trying to start from the beginning. Might not be quite as fun with the baby chicks and everything, but it's not fun if you can't make them live. So, oh, so fun! Ashley and I are twinning tonight. I wondered when it would get there. I'm so glad. Finally, I got a couple packages out last week that I wanted to get to friends. One of them was Ashley's. We have matching shirts now, and I'm super excited about it. Hey, Britain Farms Homestead, thanks for being here tonight. I hope you're doing well. Buffs are good at avoiding predators. I just love them. I love a giant fluffy butt chicken. I'm really trying not to buy more chickens this year because I don't need them, but I also know that there's going to be blue lace Wyandottes and silkies at our chick sale, and I don't have the best willpower. And Matt's never going to tell me, like, no, you can't get something. Yeah, I think they're super flighty. The Leghorns, Ashley's agreeing with me. They're like the Holstein of chicken that my friend calls them, and they're, you know, they're gonna lay eggs. I think, I don't know, our Leghorns are old. They're like probably 5 or 6, maybe older, and they both lay a white egg every day. So I don't hate them, but they are not a fun personality to keep chickens. It's not like they'll walk up to your feet and eat, like, you know, scratch or anything like that. They're certainly not friendly. I don't know how the Wyandottes would be either. I had some Wyandottes years ago, but they weren't the blue lace red. They were like just silver laced or something. Seems like they were okay, but I've always loved Buff Orpingtons, so that's what I go with. Eva's agreeing with me about the Buff Orpingtons over at Highland Homestead. Ashley says she likes barred rocks. You know, I've never had a barred rock. I have a couple olive eggers that look like barred rocks with mohawks, but I don't have any that are actually barred rocks. I don't think I've ever had one, which is strange because I like the way they look. I also love what are the white ones with like the black markings, like the Dominiques or Delawares, something with a D. I like those two. I've never had one, so I buy the chickens for how they look. And I also, the flock that I have now, because I've gone through phases of like, oh, I don't need chickens, I'm going to sell them all. And then I get more chicks. And then I sell them all. The flock that I have right now, I bought to have diverse egg colors. So I've got some Midnight Majesties for the dark chocolate eggs. I've got several olive eggers. I've got one Easter egger left. I've got a mosaic hen that I hatched out here. And she lays like a pinkish tan egg. Our Buff Orpington died over the winter, but she was an auction bird that I kind of rescued, and we just called her Fat Chicken, and I have no idea how old she was. So I don't know if I have anybody that lays just a brown egg. And then we got the Leghorns that I think Wyandottes are good. Splash Morans are nuts. Cuckoo Morans were crazy, right, Lex? I think that's what you're talking about. The Cuckoo Morans we tried to get from one of the hatcheries because we couldn't get Black Copper Morans at the time. So we got Cuckoo Morans because they still laid the dark chocolate eggs. They were basket cases, like psycho chickens. So yeah, that won't happen again. Can you eat the hens once they stop laying? Don't tell my kids I asked. Yeah, you can, but they're not a small chicken. You obviously you'd want to use them for like stewing hens. Like you don't want to. They probably wouldn't be like a great like roasted chicken or anything if they're old enough to be not laying eggs anymore. Because the buffs will lay for quite a few years. Um, but so yeah, I would say so. They're definitely going to be better than a leghorn, which is just a little scrawny thing. So, hey David, how's it going in Syracuse? Are you excited about tomorrow? Yeah, I was gonna say, just saw your comment below. Super excited. We're forecast to get 5 to 10 inches. So what's Syracuse in for? I know I have a friend in Utica that said they were in the 3 to 5 range. I'm not pumped. So do you guys still have the plows on the trucks and everything? You've got to, right? I hope. We haven't taken the snowblower off the tractor, thank God. So Britain Farms Homestead said, my Polish chickens are super friendly now that they've grown, but as chicks and preteens, they were terrified of me. I only have them to hatch chicks and sell the chicks. So they're super pretty chickens, right? So I can't blame you for that. And if they're popular, then why not, right? I've never had Polish chickens, which is odd because I'm a Polish girl, but I don't know if we've even tried to have Polish here before. No, I don't think so. Has Michaela gone to go pick up that rabbit?
I don't think so.
Where is she?
I went through the time.
No. You never know with that one. She got her car back, so. Which hens lay the blue eggs? Tony's asking, and they're people call them Easter eggers or Americanas or Mariconas, whatever you want to call it. Ancana, I don't even know. Ancanas is a kind of duck, so that was wrong. But the first ones were right. Easter eggers and Americanas are the blue egg layers. There's also chickens now that are called whiting true blue or super blue, true blue. Oh, Ashley, what am I saying? Is that right? Cat or Ashley will know. There's another. Oh, look at my awful elbow. There's another blue egg layer, but Easter eggers are the most common ones here, and most of them have cheeks, so they're obvious. Even as babies, you can tell that that's what they are. They've got little fluffy cheeks. There's not a lot of the purebred ones anymore, and those ones I think are noted for like their very abruptly ended rear end. I think.
Looking at chicken butts?
I'm not looking at chicken butts right now, Matt. I'm just talking about chicken butts. But the true like Americana that's spelled correctly and everything, you don't see that often. And I think that they have problems with breeding like a double gene issue that can happen that causes them not to hatch. So the Easter eggers are pretty common, and they lay like a lighter blue egg, and then the I think it's whiting true blue, which is kind of an oxymoron to me, but I believe that's the name of the breed, and they lay kind of a brighter blue egg. And I think they also make a whiting true green. Same thing. It must be a guy named Whiting, I'm guessing. I don't know, but and they are kind of a brighter color. So I see some people on Instagram that breed for crazy colored eggs. Like they'll have like, I have a green speckled egg layer and a green, like an olive egger and an olive egger that has speckles, but that's just out of chance because they're identical looking. So all sorts of colors. People are doing all sorts of genetic stuff to make them selectively bred for certain egg colors. Do we keep the lights on in the winter? No. I tried to put a light on with a timer, like not a heat lamp, but just like a light. And the goats kept unplugging. For some reason, the goats have an issue with the things plugged in. Their stalls, like if you can't get a perspective of my barn from the videos, when you walk in the barn, there's sheep stalls on the right and goat stalls on the left, and then the center is like the aisle where we also had kidding and lambing pens this year. Our outlets are on the metal poles of the barn that are in the front of the sheep and goat stalls, and so anything plugged in on the goat side, the goats will like climb up the gate and unplug. They just have a problem. So I just gave up on the lights in the coop. That's all right, David. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for popping in. Anytime, Tony. I am definitely not a chicken expert, but I have kept chickens for years, so I know a little bit, but I'm really going to try to not get more chickens, but we'll see how that goes next week. Oh, let's see. Hi, Recyclable Homestead. Thanks for popping in here. Lydia is saying it's looking like less snow. That's good. Do you guys still have your contracts for plowing? How long do those run? I can't remember. Is it April 15th? David's saying that Syracuse is supposed to get 2 to 6 inches, and he just can't wait. Still have all the plows on the truck.
I'm still trying to hope that it's April Fool's Day.
Matt thinks that the Weather Channel is just April Fool ising us, but I know better. Kat saying she does Easter eggers, but Ashley is saying whiting true blue, yes, which sounds like a funny oxymoron. Yes, all the chicken butt analogies. I think that the I keep wanting to say Ancana, but I know that's a kind of duck. The like the Americana, like the true kind. Don't they have like a stunted rump where it like kind of like cuts off quickly? Because my Americanas have a big fluffy butt, so I don't know. Obviously, they're not purebred. Auntie Weezer, Lexi's saying, we call her Auntie Weezer. She needs to go cover her flower and tea garden before frost could happen tonight. That's all right. Love you. See you later. We cover 6 months, November to April. So that's how long we have to worry about snow up here. Possibly. So we have all of our goats are Boer goats, and then we have 2 Savannah does. And so we don't milk them at all. They're all for meat. They're supposed to be a meat breed of sheep. Thank you, David, for popping in. I hope you have a good night. Good luck tomorrow with all of the white stuff. So yeah, the goats don't give any milk to us really. We had Nubians and we were getting quite a bit of milk from them, but milking is quite a commitment that I'm not into. I'm just not into dairy goats. My sister in South Carolina has dairy goats and that's her thing and she loves it and that's great. I'm not a milker myself. And Michaela thought she was, but it's all fun until like summer camp happens or, national convention or something. She's gone for 10 days and then I'm milking and I'm like, I hate this because I do all the morning chores as it is. And then adding milking into that, not fun. So I'm not a dairy goat person, but the people that are, that's super cool. I have respect for them. It's just not my thing. Thanks, Ashley. Appreciate it. You're covering tomorrow night. I heard that even down south, you guys are expecting some colder temperatures. So yes, that's awesome. Thanks for being here. Of course, Tony. Of course, I'm only here to help, my friend. Fowler Family Farm, what's going on tonight? I hope you're doing well. I'm still sitting, got sucked in by the goat comment. Bless you, Matt. So what do you have to say about goats, Weezer? Teats and bags?
Teeth and back.
Teats and bags. We've got lots of jokes about goats. My sister has always been the goat lover. I have always been a fan of sheep, and you thought I was going to say sheep lover, but that's just weird. So, it's kind of been a rivalry in our family, sheep versus goats, but Matt's also a goat lover, so now I'm stuck with goats anyway. Weezer said he's not a teats and bag kind of goat lover. He's a Boer goat kind of lover. Half to a gallon depending on the size and age. Yeah, she had a giant goat that she got. I don't know if she got it for free or like super cheap, and she called it Mama, and she was probably like one of the best goats she ever had. But nothing better than good teats and bags combo, Auntie Weezer. That's right. So when you're breeding animals, Ashley can attest to this. When you're breeding animals, some of the things you have to look at are teats and bags because that's what's important. And you also have to. He likes to sit in the couch over and talk, but he won't hang out with us. I don't know why, but all my besties that do Wednesday Night Live, Matt, it's Kat and John, and then it's Ashley and Mark. But no, just me by myself.
I'm a little X-rated usually.
He thinks he can't filter himself. I think that's what he's afraid of, saying the wrong thing. Nothing better than good tea. Oh, I already read that one. At the end of her days, she was spontaneously milked. I remember that. Like, she came into milk, like she wasn't bred, but she just came into milk again. That's so funny. She was cool. That lady that she got her for free from lives around the corner from me, kind of, and she still has goats, and they like free range. So when you're going down that road, it's like a country road that's between like my town and Fort Drum, like the military base. So it's pretty heavily traveled, and you always have to watch for goats. You're more likely to hit a goat on that road than a deer, and all the neighbors will attest to that. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's all. That's all it is. We do a lot of staring at the back end of things, trying to estimate or, you know, predict when they'll kid and how close they are and can we go to our meeting tonight and whatever. So yeah, it's a lot of, and even the Facebook, the groups, it's all like the back ends of sheep and goats, and they're like, oh, how close are they? And somebody was taking bets on the sheep group today. They had 3 ewes, they numbered the ewes, and they wanted to know what people's guesses were for like who went first and how many they had, and people get into it. It's funny. I'm awful at it. Like I can tell you 100% I'm the worst. Like sometimes I can guess who's next, but this year, every year, there's like I'll be good the first couple, and then after the first couple ewes have their babies, it's like all of a sudden one has a baby that I had no idea was coming, and it's out of nowhere. Even so, we had our last ewe had lambs Monday, no, Saturday. Our last ewe had lambs Saturday, and she's in Oxford. So people have been asking me if the lambs are dirty, but they're a different breed of sheep. So the Oxfords are either brown or black on the face and the bottom part of their legs. And so she has one lamb that is going to be the brown on her face and legs. Oh, are you coming back? Are you going to hang out? Auntie Lydia's on. Auntie Weezer's on. And then the other lamb is going to be black on the face and legs, but they're not dirty. They're just a different breed of sheep. So yes, it's not a weird thing. Ashley is talking about it's just easier to compare from day to day if there's a change in the back end of the goat to see like what's happening. So you have pictures to compare. Look who's here. What do you have to say, Chloe?
I have nothing to talk
about. Oh, okay. Tony's saying that the lady farmer used to keep and breed hunting horses, and her family would swear to the benefits of drinking the horse's milk. Has anyone tried this? I have not. Chloe, horse milk? No? It's not that much different than cows. Oh, Lydia says, let's play Among Us. Did you just plug your phone in?
Yes, because it was at 10%. But it will charge by the end of
the live. Then she can play Among Us.
Luckily it charges fast.
Yeah, the night that Junie had her lambs, it was Saturday, and I said to Chloe, I was like, okay, I'm going to go check the barn and see if Hermione is in labor or anything, or just check on her before bed. And I feel like it's totally on me. I'm going to try to move this. Nobody get dizzy. Oh, that didn't do a very good job. I'll unclick. And they were playing Among Us. She stayed up pretty late. So Ashley said she milked a horse, but she never drank it. The people over at Homesteady in Pennsylvania, they milk camels. So it can't be much different, right? They attest to camel milk. What is the other thing that you can get at regional market? Water buffalo milk? Is that what it is, Matt? I think it's water buffalo. I think you can get water buffalo milk at regional market. So that is definitely interesting. And Nanny. Oh my God, of course, Nanny's on here too. How could I forget? Make sure that you guys, I posted a little thing on Instagram because John from Old Reading Farm made a little banner for us. And so after our live tonight, make sure you head over to Old Reading Farm and hang out with Kat and John. They have lots of poultry and emu eggs and alpacas. No jokes about alpacas, really. And then
I hope it's not an apocalypse.
Apocalypse. And then after Old Reading Farm goes live at 7, Ashley and Mark at Mulberry Branch Farm go live at 8 Eastern Standard Time. So make sure that you hang out with everybody. They're so much fun, and they're all amazing, good people with lots of knowledge and information. So cured her asthma. That's interesting, Tony.
Guys, I'll pack in the trunk, you pack in the suitcase.
Oh, boy. You have to say, let's go on a trip. You skipped that part. That's okay. You're still perfect. Auntie Lydia says she loves Old Reading Farm's Insta. I know they have so many cool things. Oh my God, that silky chick that they posted that was like all gray. I felt like he looked like a tiny, grumpy gargoyle. He was so perfect. I want silkies, but we don't need them. It's going to be me and Chloe that are working at the fundraiser. I don't know if Michaela will be there or not because she works a lot.
My hair is cray gray.
It's beautiful. So it'll be hard to.
Yes, I am a future comedian.
Thanks,
Thank you
Eva.
very much.
I appreciate it. Imagine the omelet you can make from an ostrich egg. I know the emu eggs are big too, and I didn't you guys. I think Kat and John got some to eat. I can't remember.
Eat an emu egg?
Not an emo egg. It's not wearing the black eyeliner and the emotional.
Yep.
It's an emotional emu egg. She is. That's what she says to me. She's like, you know those people that stand on stage and tell jokes? Like, I feel like I could do that. Like a comedian. Yes, my love. I feel like you could do that too. So perfect. So funny. Lydia is my little sister, Kat. So Bushels and Pecks is my big sister. Then there's me. Then Lydia is the one right after me. And then I have a littler sister, Nora, but she's not on the social media as much. So she doesn't always remember that we do the lives. Emo eggs. Yeah. That'll be the new trend, right?
Emo
Yeah. White House on the Hill will be hatching some emotionally black eggs. So all the Cayuga duck eggs will now be labeled as marketed as emo eggs. That's what Kat says. Maybe she got emo eggs. They may or may not have gotten them. She says she'll have to wait till they're teenagers to find out if they're emo eggs.
I think. Wait, what?
Because usually, like, teenagers are when people decide they want to be emo.
I don't know what that is.
An emo is like a type of, it's like how you dress and how you are. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
so I don't even know what it is.
It's just
Still
funny.
don't get
It's all
it.
good. It's all good. Auntie, everybody, look at Tony, Ashley, Auntie Lydia. Everybody thinks it's funny. It's all good. What else do I have in my notes? I haven't read everything. Lambing is done. 2 more goats, 1 pig. I don't know if the other pig is going to lamb. Easter is this weekend.
Wait, what are the other goats?
One of the Savannahs and another one. The 2 that are in the stall together are the ones that are left to kid out still. So yeah. I started shearing with the nicer weather. I do my own shearing because
I'm tired.
I'm sorry.
And no one has time to pay for sharing. Ain't nobody got time to pay for anything.
No, when I started having sheep, there was no shearers that came over to our area. There are now, but it costs like $300 to $400 to get my flock shorn, and I'm just cheap. Like maybe it would be worth it, but I also kind of enjoy the time and kind of just get to check over each ewe and see what kind of condition they're in after lambing, and it's not a big deal. I do a few a day. It's not like I have to like kill myself over it. I put them on a stand to shear them. I'm not flipping these ewes over that are heavier than I am. So it's not a big deal, but as long as I don't shear my hand off again like I did last year. So I'm excited about the shears coming back because I had to send them into Premier in Iowa to get them repaired because something's wrong with my power cord. So sent it in, and I told them just to sharpen the blades while they're there. Flipping its feather out of its eyes because it's emotional. Emotional. What's up, Emma? That's okay. I'm glad you popped in. I hope you're doing well. It's a busy time of year. That's what I was saying in the beginning. I'm having a really hard time catching the lives. Like Monday, Tuesday, it was nice weather out. We were outside till like dark, which is closer to 8 now, which is great. But I'm just not in when people are live as much. So I know I missed Monday nights. I have, a lot of friends that do the Mondays, and I've been missing them. Moore's Patch of Heaven does Monday. Oh my goodness. So I was super excited today to do a Walmart and Target pickup because Walmart didn't have everything I needed. And
Target is way better.
if you've never done a Target pickup, so first of all, maybe Walmart is better in other areas, but our Walmart, the app has not been working for like the last 2 months. So you have to call when you get there. You can't like check in on the app so that they can track you. And the Target app, I checked in when I was leaving Walmart, which is like literally across the street. Like it's a big street, but across the street. And when I pulled into like one of the parking spots in Target, which I hadn't even seen them before when we went in the store, the girl literally like I pulled up and then I picked up my phone to like see what I was supposed to do. And the girl was like at my window. And she was just like, "Oh, what's your code?" and whatever. And that was it. So also much more chipper than the Walmart lady, but it was raining today. So yeah, it's not too bad. Definitely not a professional. And some of the sheep definitely do not look professionally shorn, but they're comfortable and the wool's off them and it's better than nothing. So yeah.
I think Dina's not showing.
Dina's like half shorn because she's the sheep that my
She-
shears stopped working on.
She would win like 100th place.
Yeah, she's looking rough right now.
Eh,
She like I trimmed her face up because she's really woolly but my shears cut out like halfway doing her and she's such a huge sheep that there is no way in heck I was gonna hand shear.
How could you say that about my sweet sheep?
Oh my god, she's huge. She's just really big. So
Oh,
wasn't oh, you're on vacation, Emma. Where are you on vacation at home or are you on vacation like somewhere fun? Not that home's not fun. Coming from a hermit. I love being home. You guys started any beans yet? Is it too cold for you just now? If so, which varieties are you doing this year? I'm doing dragon tongue bush beans. And I don't know what else we have for beans. I got I think I got Japanese noodle beans. I've never grown.
noodle.
Yeah, they're really long.
Noodle. I have a noodle today.
Yeah. So those are the ones we're going to try to do, but we have not put them in the ground yet. We're expecting some snow starting tonight into tomorrow.
I got a joke for you guys. It's not really a joke, it's just a funny saying.
What's that?
Hold on, I gotta find a babushka.
Oh, great. Why do you always do the babushka when you're on the live? They're so crazy.
Because the babushka is funny.
So it's still too cold. We won't do beans until later on. I will put sugar snap peas in the ground soon. I've got to seed some pastures, I bought pasture seed last week and I could only find one bag. The dog is eating that Barbie. I just don't want Eva to get upset. So you just like to look at yourself in the camera
No.
like that.
Alright. Hola. Soy Dora.
No, do not go any further with that joke. I know exactly where you're going, and your sister taught you that, and we're not going to say that. No. This is the joy of having an 18-year-old and then a 9 and a 4-year-old is that they learn so many things from their big sister.
I mean, at least it's funny.
Yeah, totally. Thanks, Ma. But you say that about everything. I appreciate that. But some of the sheep look a little wonky, so they get done though, and they're comfortable. That's what matters. So it's all good. She wasn't at Nanny's house. This is the first Wednesday in a while. She hasn't been at Nanny's house. Yeah, she has been cooped up all day. We ran errands, and then it's just been raining. So it's just been.
Crazy person.
She's a crazy person. You're doing some Chinese noodle beans. Yeah, I don't know. I've never tried them before, but I do the sugar magnolia, sugar snap peas. I've always grown those, and then I just save seeds from them and grow and share. Those are usually the first thing I put in. I'll plant my gladiolas. I'm going to send Eva some when they finally get here. I think they're supposed to be in next week. So
There's only a couple of seconds.
a couple minutes left. We got like a minute left.
Everyone, look at me in the babushka and laugh before you have to go.
Oh boy.
Okay, I'm done with the
You're done with the babushka. Speaking of babushkas, are you excited for Friday?
What's Friday?
Sneaky day.
Sneaky.
Yeah, Easter Sunday. So our family celebrates Easter, and so my mom is Polish, which means we make szniki, which are like crepes that we fill with cottage cheese. Those are something we eat on Easter. We're gonna make buttermints, which we talked about a couple lives
I
ago.
love buttermints.
Then we're gonna dye Easter eggs Friday too. So we always do that. Eva says, of course they're laughing. We don't raise meat rabbits because Matthew is extremely allergic to rabbits. We talked about it in the beginning when we were, like reading all the Joel Salatin stuff, but we've had pet bunnies before, and we do have
I'm not like a little allergic either.
pet bunnies now. Yeah, he's saying he's not like a little allergic, like he can't breathe well around them. So meat rabbits just wasn't in the cards for us, and that's okay. It's too bad because there aren't people raising meat rabbits here to sell. Meat rabbits in the States, like chicken in New York at least, you can process your own and sell, or you can do like 28. You don't have to do USDA like we do with lamb and goat. So what? Oh, our time is up. Well, I appreciate you guys all hanging out with us. We had a great week. Hopefully next week we have piglets to report. We'll definitely have chick information to report because we'll spend the day helping my friend organize baby chicks. And make sure that you go check out Old Reading Farm, and happy Easter, Eva, and have a great rest of the week. Happy Easter to everyone that celebrates it. I hope you guys have a great weekend and you get to spend some time with family. And I will see you over at Cat and John's channel, Old Reading Farm, and then Mulberry Branch Farm after that. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.